ANS News Video, October. The October edition of the ANS Video News Bulletin offers us memorable events and memories for the Salesian congregation and the church, various animation visits, and memories with young people and the Salesian mission. RMG. The Rector Major receives the Laurea Magistrale Honoris Causa. On 13th October, the University of Palermo awarded the Rector Major, Father Angel Fernandez Artime, an honorary degree in Pedagogical Sciences. The University of Palermo, in honoring the 10th successor of Don Bosco, wished to exalt the commitment and conviction of the educator Saint John Bosco in the person of Father Angel, who never doubted this certainty. In every young person, there is a possibility of human redemption, and he always worked to ensure that it was translated into didactic and communicative choices, especially during the most acute phase of the pandemic season, with the consequent and persistent crisis in education. During the graduation ceremony, after the reading of the motivation, the Rector Major offered some examples of the successes of Salesian pedagogy found all over the world and delivered his Lectio Magistralis entitled Salesian Pedagogy Between Present and Future. World Council for Social Communication. From 29th October to the 1st of November, various members of the sector for social communication and representatives of the same sector active in the various Salesian regions were gathered in Lisbon to participate in the World Communication Council. The meeting was marked by fraternity, rich in the exchange of experiences and significant in the search for new knowledge and communication practices for the good of the mission of all, always at the service of young people. The participants were invited to contribute to a general working document for the sector, which aimed to explore concepts and processes while creating a common vision. During the World Consultation, the participants also had the opportunity to take part in some educational, cultural, and religious visits to the city of Lisbon, to Estoril, the place that will host next year's meeting of Salesian young people who will participate in World Youth Day, Lisbon 2023, and to the Marian Shrine of Fatima, a national and international center of Marian devotion. Africa, Madagascar. Zambia. Meeting on Social Communication and Formation. The delegates for social communication and the delegates for formation of the provinces and vice provinces of the Salesian region, Africa, Madagascar, met from 17th to the 21st of October at the Mornese Retreat Center in Lusaka, Zambia, to reflect on several current issues in their respective areas. During the joint meeting of the two sectors, the theme of the digital world and its challenges for Salesians and young people today was explored both in plenary meetings and in small group works. Tanzania. Salesian Youth Movement deepens Rector Major's message. More than 280 young people from different Salesian presences in Tanzania and Kenya gathered at the Don Bosco Didia Center to deepen the message of the Rector Major's Strenna entitled "Do Everything Out of Love, Nothing by Force." The event was opened by the superior of the Salesian province of East Africa, Father Simon Asira, together with the provincial of the Daughters of Mary Help of Christians. Various contributions were given by the Salesians and lay people on various topics. The response of the young people was very positive and everyone was happy and content. America, South Cone. Brazil, Salesian Youth Festival. On 8th October in Sao Paulo, more than 4,000 young people took part in the 22nd Salesian Youth Festival, which was also attended by the Salesians and Daughters of Mary Help of Christians. The young people shared moments of communion, music, theater, sport and prayer, reinforcing the Salesian charism. The Mass was presided over by the Vicar of the Brazil, Sao Paulo province, who emphasized the 5 points of Pope Francis's post-synodal apostolic exhortation to young people, Christus Vivit. The evening ended with a vigil, artistic gymnastics programs, the presentation of the story of the first Salesian coadjutor proclaimed a saint, Artemirizati, and adoration of the Blessed Sacrament. Argentina, South, Provincial Chapter. From 24th to 28th October, with the motto, "We want to keep on walking," the 4th Provincial Chapter of the Salesians of the South Argentina province was held. Salesians and laypeople from all Salesian works made their discernment and defined the main lines of animation and governance of the presences in this part of the country. Father Guillermo Taunos, moderator of the provincial chapter, chaired by Father Dario Pereira, the provincial, proposed to build and vote on the guidelines for the pastoral animation of the province around 3 dimensions of work: formation, economy of communion, and mission, born from the Rector Major's programmatic proposal following the 28th General Chapter. East Asia, Oceania. Australia, Marian Shrine in Brunswick, blessed. On Sunday, 2nd October, the Salesians of the Australia Pacific, Mary Help of Christians province celebrated the blessing of the Marian Shrine in honor of Our Lady of Lourdes at the Salesian parish of Brunswick, a suburb of Melbourne. The long-awaited event adds a new element to the already vibrant parish community. For the occasion, the entire parish communities of faithful of Italian and Vietnamese origin, friends and supporters, gathered in front of the shrine with Father Peter Huang, Vice Provincial, and the other priests and religious who had gathered to celebrate the blessing ceremony of the statue of Our Lady. Vietnam. Salesian cooperators welcome new members. On 2nd October, the annual retreat of the Salesian cooperators of Vietnam took place, accompanied by Father Barnabas Leang Phong, SDB, the provincial of the Vietnam province, Father Peter Nguyen, Provincial Delegate for Youth Pastoral by Salesian Coadjutor Martino Bui Van Luang, Provincial Delegate for the Salesian Family by the members of the Provincial Council, the Salesian Cooperators of Vietnam, and by several Daughters of Mary Help of Christians. During the celebration of the Mass, presided over by the Vietnam Provincial, 41 new Salesian Cooperators pronounced their promise. Solomon Islands. 250 young people participate in One Talk Bosco. From 14th to 16th October, 250 young people from Salesian Works gathered to celebrate their annual One Talk Bosco event on the theme Do Everything for Love, inspired by the Rector Major's Strenna 2022. The program began with moments of prayer and meditation led by Father Robinson Parapelli and the viewing of films on the life of Miguel Pro, a priest who sacrificed his life for Christ. The second day began with a Eucharistic celebration presided over by Father Gregory Bicomong, Superior of the Papua New Guinea and Solomon Islands visitation. This was followed by a meditative session of the young people divided into groups and the planning of the evening talent show. The program concluded with sports, games, moments of prayer and interaction. South Asia. India. Salesian Provincial Chapter of Calcutta. On 2nd October, the provincial chapter of the Salesians of the Calcutta province began at the Don Bosco Nitika Center. Monsignor Thomas de Souza, Archbishop of Calcutta, presided at the Eucharist in front of 72 chapter members, inviting them to grow in faith and love. Father Joseph Pauria, Provincial, reading from Article 170 of the Salesian Constitutions, indicated the tone and style for living the provincial chapter properly. In his opening address, the Archbishop again invited the chapter members to focus on young people, to listen to them and to accompany them, becoming their mentors and guides. Father Tommy Augustine, moderator of the provincial chapter, welcomed the participants and led the reflections of the provincial chapter on the theme, the profile of the Salesian for the youth of today. India. Visit of Rector Major to the Mumbai province. The Rector Major arrived in Mumbai on 21st October to participate in some significant moments. The first event was the Mass of Thanksgiving for the gift of holiness of Artemidizati, together with the entire province. The following day, the Rector Major participated in a gathering with the youth of the province, and then he was present at the blessing of the new academic facilities of the Nerul work for the educational sector of the province. On 23rd October, the Rector Major went to Lonavala to participate in the celebrations for the 60th anniversary of the Don Bosco Aspirantate. Father Ankhel also presided over a Thanksgiving Eucharist and afterwards had a moment of dialogue with the Salesians, aspirants and alumni of the center. For the Mumbai province, the presence of the Rector Major in the 50th anniversary year was a true moment of grace. India. Visit of the Rector Major to the Guwahati province. The second phase of the Rector Major's trip was to Northeast India, where celebrations took place for the centenary of the arrival of the first sons of Don Bosco in that region. Father Angel Fernandez Artime arrived in Guwahati on 24th October and had several significant moments. The first was the inauguration of the centenary monument at the provincial house, and immediately afterwards, he participated in a moment of dialogue with the provincials of the three northeast Indian provinces of Guwahati, Shillong and Dimapur and their councils. The following day, 25th October, was full of events, starting in the morning with a meeting for Father Angel with the bishops and provincials of Northeast India and some members of the diocesan clergy and long-time missionaries in that region. In the mid-morning, there was a solemn Eucharistic concelebration at the city cathedral, followed by an interactive session with students and young people in the afternoon. On 26th October, the 10th successor of Don Bosco made several visits and then met with the Salesians of the three provinces of Northeast India. With them, Father Angel presided over a solemn mass to mark the centenary of the arrival of the sons of Don Bosco to Northeast India, followed by a beautiful festive moment with various cultural and artistic performances and the presentation of several books.
Senti famiglia, senti che ci stai bene. Chiesa di Cristo, il nostro oratorio.
India. Visit of the Rector Major to the Shillong province. The Rector Major arrived in Shillong on 27th October for the other centenary celebrations and various visits. The next day, after a mass with the novices at the Sunnyside House, he met with the sisters of the Visitation of Don Bosco, 30th group of the Salesian Family, followed by an evening with the larger gathering for all members of the local Salesian Family. On Saturday, 29th October, the Rector Major dedicated himself to young people, first with a youth mass and then with a moment of dialogue and interaction at the Centenary Youth Expo. This was followed on the same day by a meeting with the Daughters of Mary Help of Christians and a cultural and festive evening. On the last day of the visit, Father Angel Fernandez Artime greeted the Archbishop of Shillong and then, together with the Apostolic Nuncio, celebrated the Eucharist in the city's cathedral alongside thousands of people. Centenary Youth Expo. The Centenary Youth Expo 2020 took place at St. Anthony's High School in Shillong, Northeast India, between 28th to 30th October. It was a very significant event of the centenary celebrations. The inaugural Mass of the Expo was presided over by the Archbishop Victor Lingdo, Archbishop of Shillong, with the concelebration of the many provincials, Salesians and priests. The Chief Minister of the state of Meghalaya also participated in the Youth Expo. The presence and participation of the Rector Major in the Youth Expo was also a strong encouragement and inspiration for the young people. More than 1,500 young people came from the various states of Northeast India to participate in this Youth Expo. These were days of strong training exchange of experiences and talents by the youth, and a strong expression of gratitude by the youth for the presence of the Salesians in northeast India. North Central Europe. Belarus. Centenary of Salesian presence in the country. The Salesian family of Belarus concluded the centenary celebration of the presence and activities of the Salesians in the country. The program was designed for young people with the celebration of the Don Bosco Youth Fest. Present for the occasion were the sons of Don Bosco and the daughters of Mary Help of Christians active in Belarus, the Salesian cooperators, representatives of the Association of Mary Help of Christians, animators, children, young people, parishioners, as well as all those close to the Salesian charism. The festive program culminated with a solemn mass of thanksgiving for the centenary activity of the Salesian society in that land. Croatia, celebrating 100 years of Salesian presence with the Rector Major. The Rector Major, Father Angel Fernandez Artime, from 15th to 16th October, attended the celebrations for the 100th anniversary of the Salesian presence in Zagreb, Croatia, and for the 50th anniversary of the foundation of St. John Bosco province of Croatia. Many events took place to bring closeness to the Salesians, the Salesian family, and Croatian youth. The highlight of the 2 days of festivities was the celebration of Mass at the shrine of the Holy Mother of Liberty, presided over by Father Tihomir Sutalo, Provincial, and during which the Rector Major gave the homily and emphasized that this anniversary was a strong and beautiful opportunity to thank the Lord for all He has given us in the centenary of our presence in that city. Slovakia, pilgrimage to the land of St. Francis de Sales. The pilgrimage to the homeland of the Salesian spirit, which took place from 2nd to the 4th of October, involved more than 100 Salesian cooperators from Slovakia. The visit to the places, accompanied by a deepening of the importance and relevance of St. Francis de Sales, touched the hearts of the pilgrims. 3 intense days found their content in the profound choices of the Holy Bishop of Geneva. Inspired by him, the Salesian cooperators reflected on 3 important decisions: the choice of goodness and gentleness in everything and in spite of everything, the choice of simplicity and poverty oriented for the service of souls, and the choice of abandonment to God's will with full trust in His love.
Hosanna,
Slovenia. Salesian Youth Movement meeting gathers 100 young people. On Saturday, 15th October, the meeting of young people from the Salesian Youth Movement, members of the Salesian Family, Salesians and Daughters of Mary Help of Christians from the works of the province of Slovenia took place at the Salesian Center Don Bosco, Maribor. The meeting on the theme Everything for Love, with about 100 representatives, began with the Mass. In the afternoon, the activities continued with a program rich in content, including workshops and testimonies, and the story of the missionary experience in Ukraine of a young volunteer. The day ended with a big game and adoration of the Blessed Sacrament, animated with liturgical youth songs. Inter-America. Peru. New impetus for Venerable Octavio Ortiz Arrieta's cause for sainthood. On 3rd October, at the Cathedral of Chachapoyas in the Peruvian region of Amazonas, a new impetus was given to the cause of holiness of Bishop Octavio Ortiz Arrieta, a Salesian who was a bishop of that diocese between 1922 and 1958. In front of hundreds of parishioners, Bishop Humberto Tapia Diaz presented the new prayer for the cause of holiness, the official photograph, and the first sculptural portrait of the Venerable. The ceremony was attended by Father Humberto Chavez, vicar of the province of Peru. The bust of Monsignor Ortiz was presented by the Salesians of Peru to the bishopric as a symbol of the new impetus given to the cause of holiness of the first Peruvian Salesian priest and the first member of the Society of St. Francis de Sales to be ordained bishop in Peru. Colombia, 8th Salesian Symphonic Bands Festival. From 6th to 8th October 2022, the 8th Salesian Symphonic Bands Festival was held at the Salesian Opera Niño Jesus in Bogota. The event was attended by 560 boys, girls, and young men from the 11 symphonic bands. The activities of the festival were based on three main axes: formative, evaluative, and recreational. In addition, the National Police Symphony Orchestra was also present, sharing the same repertoire with the students chosen by each teacher. On the last day of the festival, the students received specific workshops for each instrument, held by the masters and leaders of the respective bands. At the end of the event, Father John Freddy Hernandez, director of the Salesian Symphonic Band's provincial program, announced that all the bands had been awarded first place. Mediterranean. Visit of the Rector Major to the city of Palermo. The visit of the Rector Major to the city of Palermo began on 12th October. He was joyfully welcomed by some 900 young people from the Salesian Institute, Don Bosco, after which he paid a visit to the Salesian Professional Training Center, Jesus Adolescent. In the afternoon, Father Angel met with the young people carrying out their universal civil service with the Salesians in Sicily, and at the Church of St. Dominic, he presided over the Mass at the beginning of the school year. On 13th October, the Rector Major received the honorary citizenship of Palermo and an honorary degree in pedagogical sciences from the University of Palermo. And on 14th October, the last day of the Rector Major's visit, the 10th successor of Don Bosco visited the Church of the Adolescent Jesus and then the Santa Chiara house located in the historic and multi-ethnic Ballaro district, a place that is enriched by the cultural diversity and the various ethnic groups of the neighborhood. Spain. Salesians receive recognition for their work for young people. The Municipal Council of the city of Elche in the Valencian Autonomous Community decided to award the city's silver medal to the Sons of Don Bosco on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of the creation of their vocational training center and in recognition of their long-standing work in favor of the education of the city's young people, particularly in the field of vocational training. The award was presented to the Salesians on 9th October in the city's Grand Theatre. It was a privileged moment to express gratitude for such generosity and enthusiasm and to renew their educational commitment to the young people of Elche, both in the field of vocational training and in other areas of education. Portugal. Salesian Youth Movement towards World Youth Day 2023. The young people of the Salesian Youth Movement in Portugal spent a weekend of great joy and spiritual intensity in preparation for World Youth Day 2023. On 15th and 16th October, around 400 people, including adolescents and young people, animators, Salesians, and Daughters of Mary Help of Christians, met at the Salesians in Lisbon. At the beginning of another educational pastoral year, the participants had the opportunity to experience in a small way what a World Youth Day can be. The meeting provided for differentiated experiences and a lot of dynamism, with thematic workshops and time for personal reflection on the patron saints of the coming days, testimonies of life from the young people, as well as a mission on the meaning of World Youth Day as a witness to Jesus' proclamation of the gospel and an experience of going out of service in the midst of society. To complete the experience, there was also a pilgrimage through the city of Lisbon, passing by the strategic places of World Youth Day 2023. The October edition of ANS News Video ends here. We thank you for being with us again this month and look forward to seeing you in the next edition. We also invite you to spread these good works and good news. Thank you.